Hey guys!
Hey guys!
Jamie here.
Blake here. We wanted to kind of let everybody know how we met. Our wedding is literally around the corner, so we just wanted to
do
finally
something fun and share with you guys how we met. I mean, we've shared it
on
How
Instagram,
we asked
yeah, a
and
few
stuff,
other
but
places,
I
but
thought this would be a bit of fun and
get to hear the real side and the other side of the story. So
why would mine not be real?
Because mine's better.
You make your choice in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know which version you like of this, because obviously mine's better. So
Team Blake, like and subscribe.
oh man, the day I met Blake.
Okay, so let me take you back to 2016. One of my best friends and I, his name is Scott, we decided to do a trip to the United States. We did about, I think, 6 weeks, and one of the big things we really wanted to do was Coachella. So I think week 5 was when Coachella was like into our trip. So we did the first weekend. It was just before my birthday. My birthday is the 20th of April, so I think the first weekend was the 14th to the 16th. And just bear in mind, so we, you know, had, this was my second time to America, Scotty's first, and you know, so I hadn't been for maybe 10 years. I went with my family when I was younger, and anyway, we wanted to try all the food, and we basically ate and drank our way across the States. We caught greyhounds everywhere, which I would not recommend. Anyway, so Coachella comes up. Yeah, so just bear in mind, I haven't, you know, shaved in 5 weeks. I had this really long beard. I, you know, had been eating and drinking, so I was a bit puffy. I wasn't looking the best. Anyway, Scotty and I just, you know, wanted to have fun at Coachella, so we were just drinking, having a good time. We went there. The whole first day, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We just danced around, had a lot of fun, and then... Well,
I was invited by a friend to go to Coachella. I had never been before, heard that it's like amazing, so I was like, oh, why not? So went out to Palm Springs, stayed with some of her family. So we were about an hour outside of the festival, so we had to take the buses in every day, which was kind of fun. You could just hang out with people and kind of do whatever. But yeah, so the first day we went into the festival. It was like nothing I had ever seen before, like people dancing everywhere, and it was just so much fun.
So we stayed at a hotel, and what happens is I think each hotel or each sort of area has like a bus line. So the buses go to different hotels along the way and take you to and from the festival. So end of day 1, Scotty and I are walking. There's literally like no one around. It's probably, you know, I think it was 11 or 12, really late. No one around. Literally, it was just the two of us. So we're just, you know, walking, taking our time. It'd been a long day. We're both pretty tired, so we're just sort of dawdling around, walking to the line. Anyway, we're just chilling, and then out of nowhere, these two girls run past us.
So then, towards the end of the first night, you have to walk back to the buses. So there's like these gated, you know, little, I call them a maze, but you like walk to your certain bus. So we found our sign, went towards our bus, and we were, you know, just dancing and singing because we just had so much fun. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's like a really tall guy up there. Let's go run past him because I want to see what he looks like. So she was like, okay, whatever. So we like started running, and he was with his friend. So we ran past them, and I like turned around just to see like what his face looked like. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I like booked it. We took off.
And one of them looks back at me, and she just smiles at me, and it was, seriously, it's like one of those moments that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. And it was Jamie, obviously, but she turned around and she smiled at me, and just from then I was just captivated. And she kept running. She was with one of her friends, and the way that it was set up is that So we're just walking along like a grassy field, I guess, and then to the left of us is like all fences, and they sort of, you know, it's like a line, so it's like all zigzag fences. Anyway, she runs past us, goes into the line, and it turns out, you know, she's going to the exact same bus that I'm going to, which is, you know, crazy in itself. And anyway, they kept running on, so.
And we like tried to get to our bus, and then all of a sudden we're like almost to our bus, and like we see two guys just jump over a fence and like land in front of us. We're like, oh, hello. And it was Blake, and he was like, hi, like, my name's Blake. And I was like, I think your friend's leg is bleeding. And his friend had like cut his leg from the fence. The little pointy part of the fence had like scratched his leg up. So that gave us something to talk about. And then, yeah, so then we ended up being on the same bus. So we sat kind of next to each other and ended up, I don't even remember what we talked about, alligators, I think, at one point, because he had been to Florida or something. But yeah, so we just talked, like, an hour drive home.
We both just jumped the fence to get in front of him. And Scotty actually ripped up his shin and was bleeding. We didn't know this at the time, but anyway, so we jump in front and sort of get in front of him, and then, you know, we start talking and introduce ourselves, and then, you know, she had this incredible accent, and that was another thing that just drew me to her straight away. You know, at first I doubt we could really understand what either of us was saying, but I was kind of just caught in the moment, and I was like lost in her, like this, you know, this person that had just smiled at me and caught my attention, and I just like was captivated from the start, and I couldn't, you know, I don't know, she just pretty much had me then. And anyway, then they pointed out that Scotty was bleeding, and it was just like, you know, I didn't even notice, I guess I didn't even care at the time, because I was just, you know, so lost in what was happening. And anyway, it just turned out that we ended up being on the same bus. They weren't even staying at the hotel, she was staying at a friend's house in Palm Springs, and so just randomly that they got the same bus as us. Anyway, I sat next to Jamie the whole way home, and it was probably like a 45-minute to an hour bus ride, and we just sat there and we just talked the whole way.
And he had taken my phone to look at something and texted himself from my phone, and so then we like parted ways that night, and I saw that I had a text message from someone, and it was him, and I was like, oh my gosh, he like got my number somehow. And so we were like talking, we had made plans to meet up the next day, and so the next day was crazy. Like, Coachella is just crazy. There's like day parties and all these things, and so we were like trying to meet up, finally did, and he didn't have service because he doesn't have a phone here, so we like somehow found each other and ended up, I think we kissed then, pretty sure we kissed then, crazy. Had our first kiss at Coachella, and then we kind of just started, we had the similar taste in bands, so we would end up wanting to go see the same bands and DJs, and did all that. And yeah, we spent like the whole day too was just crazy. We just were having so much fun dancing, and I was just like, how is this guy even real? Like, I don't know, and he's gonna leave for Australia, so like I'm not gonna get attached, like it's fine. We'll just have fun and that'll be it. So then the third day, I had a lot of work and stuff I had to do, so I was pretty busy, and then towards the end of the night, I remember Calvin Harris was the last show of the day, and we were there at it, and he started playing and everything, and Blake was trying to text me and find me, and it's like impossible to find anybody basically, especially in like a big crowd. So yeah, all of a sudden I remember seeing someone climbing up the big speaker towers, and I was like, I looked at my friend and I was like, I think that's Blake. And I saw him, I think he was trying to take a video or something. He claims he was trying to see me, I think. But anyway, so I was like, oh, I think I see him, let's go over there. And so we went over there and we danced and had fun. And then yeah, I kind of was like, you know, he's not going to try to talk to me after this. Like, it's fine.
And it was just like, you know, it was crazy. Like, I'd never met anyone like her. The way, she was just incredible, honestly. And it was just like, it's funny to, you know, go back and talk about it now, but because she's still that person to me, you know. But it was like, she was just it was everything that like everything I was asking her, and so I was like, oh, what do you do with yourself? And you know, she was like running a jewelry business, doing all this blogging and modeling and everything. And you know, I wasn't into the Instagram or any of that at all, because I had my profile was actually private. I had maybe 200 followers, which were actually just probably people from, you know, old school friends and actual friends. And yeah, and so the one way to contact, because I didn't have an American number and I was only, you know, pretty much on Wi-Fi while we're over in the States, I got her to download WhatsApp so that we could keep in contact. But also we added each other on Instagram. I think she had about 60,000 followers at the time, which was, to me, was insane. And I didn't even, I couldn't even fathom, like I didn't even know anything about the Instagram world. I didn't know anything about all that stuff. So it was funny because for me, I was just like, wow, who is this person? You know, like she just had everything going for her, you know. I guess, sorry, one thing that I skipped was I was just, you know, I couldn't get past her beauty at the start too. Like she was just the most beautiful person. She had her eyes were just so incredible, and she had this eye makeup on, or I think they're like sticker type things where she had like these dots around her, and it was just, I couldn't, she looked like this, you know, goddess, like out of a, I don't know, Greek mythology or something. It was just, I couldn't stop staring at her, but her eyes were just incredible. Anyway, so going back, yeah, so we just, we talked the whole way, and, you know, and it was just, I just couldn't get enough of her. You know, I wanted to know more. I wanted to just keep talking to her. Anyway, we ended up, you know, got to our stop, and we both got off at the same place. And her friend's mum or grandma, I think it was, picked them up, and so we said goodbye. And all I could remember was I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to kiss her goodbye so bad, but it didn't happen. So anyway, I went back we went back to the hotel. We kept messaging and stuff, and then the next day we planned to meet up. So we met up in the festival, and then Jamie and I basically, like, I'm sorry to my friend Scott, but we just ditched him pretty much, and I left him with her friend. So I'm sorry, I left him with her, and Jamie and I just spent the whole day just running around dancing, and you know, and then we finally kissed, which our first kiss was at the beer garden. And yeah, and then we just spent the whole day together dancing and running around and just in our own little world. And it was the most fun I've ever had at a festival, and it was seriously just the two of us, just like in our own little world, just running around. And yeah, and then the next day, you know, we spent together again.
So I remember I was like, okay, I'm gonna go, and I gave him a kiss and like ran off and like sprinted. And after that, you know, we kind of texted here and there, but I was like, this guy's not gonna really, you know, try to do a long distance relationship like from Australia. It's so far. And sure enough, we were like texting all the time and FaceTiming, and I don't know if anybody knows that the time difference is like 8-hour difference in time zones, so not easy to talk and text and FaceTime. It's like 2 a.m. for him, you know, and I think it was like 11, or I don't know, it was crazy hours that we were trying to talk. And one day I was like, look, I'm not gonna video chat forever. I'll just come to Australia. Like, why not? Never been. I'll just do it. And booked a flight. I had a few friends there, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna see if this guy, you know, if he is saying what he means, I guess. And so went there, and I think I saw him the first day I got in, and I was like, oh my god, I was so nervous. And we ended up meeting up, and he was like everything I remembered, and you know, everything we had talked about, and we just had like the best time ever. And we've just been doing long distance for, I think we did it for 1.5 years. It was really rough. Long distance is not fun, but it's also manageable when you have someone who is putting in as much work as you do. So yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many phone conversations and, you know, video chats that were hours long just to get some time in for the day. And yeah, so we did that, and then he moved over, and the rest is history. But I mean, honestly, it was the first festival I had ever been to. Didn't know what to expect, and I ended up with a husband out of it. So this is not saying that you'll get a husband every time you go to a festival, but they are magical. I can't tell you how many people I've been like, oh, we meet at Coachella, and they're like, oh, Coachella is so magical, and it just is. And I mean, we'll love Coachella, and we'll go probably till we're old and have kids and make our kids go. And yeah, but that's the story of how we met.
And then, yeah, that was it. Then it went to long distance, which was difficult. And, you know, that was just a whole nother beast, because I've never really been one to talk on the phone before. Two, I'd never, you know, FaceTimed anyone really. So Jamie was used to it. And anyway, she, you know, I couldn't believe, for one, I didn't think that we would still keep in contact. Like the last thing I did on the last day of the festival was I took her phone and I wrote a note in her phone, and I said, and it was, you know, thanks for like the most incredible time, and you were just someone that like I'm gonna remember forever. And like and I truly meant it. Like no one had ever come into my life and like, you know, just made so much of an impact straight away like that. And ever since then I just couldn't stop thinking about her, and she was just, you know, the most incredible person I'd ever met. And I knew that like no matter what, I just wanted to keep her in my life. So it's funny because yeah, I wasn't someone who talked on the phone, I wasn't someone who FaceTimed, who did all that, but you know, she eventually got me up to doing that, and I just wanted, you know, to keep her in my life. And then yeah, we kept talking, we just, you know, I just wanted to know so much about her, she wanted to know about me, and it was just so much fun. We just, neither of us, you know, like we just wanted to keep talking to each other, we wanted to keep seeing each other. And it just, you know, eventually she decided she was going to come and see me, and it was insane. It's funny, I actually didn't think she was coming. I thought she was joking. Like I thought it was going to be this big joke, and so it blew my mind that she was actually there, and she actually came to visit me. And yeah, I guess the rest is history. But just yeah, that's how we met. And yeah, it's just an incredible story. It's something, you know, that we're gonna tell our kids and tell our friends, and you know, I have so much fun telling everyone all the time. But yeah, I'm just glad I could share it with you guys, and you know, it just means a lot to us, and it was just, she means the world to me. So I hope you enjoyed it.